Today is day 21 of designing a spooky island in 30 days using no Nintendo Online. And the last couple days, we've definitely been making progress. I was feeling good about things. But as I run around, there are just a lot of empty spaces. I need to make some good progress today because we only have a little over a week left. And I have to be done with this island. So I'm thinking one thing I need to focus on today, I need to do a little bit of cleanup. I've kind of just got flowers and random stuff everywhere. But I think my big focus is going to be designing a couple of the houses in one of the neighborhoods. And I think I'm going to focus on the ones on the right-hand side closest to the entrance, just because I've already done the entrance and I just want to continue with that area right there. The more complete I can get that section, the better I'm going to feel. I did decide to stop in Able Sisters again today, and she does have a pattern fabric for me. I don't know how many more of these she's actually going to have because I feel like I've gotten quite a bit of them. I'm also going around and watering all my crops, just because I know that I'm going to need money and I'm going to need pumpkins. I feel like I have a lot of pumpkins in my storage right now, but I just know that it's not going to be enough. The same with materials. Like, I always feel like I have plenty, but it's not going to be enough. I just know it, and I'm really dreading having to start collecting materials again. I did forget that I actually turned on the beautiful island ordinance because I need to get more flowers, and I just noticed that I finally duplicated my tulips and I got an orange hyacinth. So very exciting. Hopefully we can continue to get more of those. I think it might be too late for the orange hyacinth, but I am going to water them. I'm going to hope for more of them. But the yellow tulip is exciting. I've also been going back and forth about putting clear paths down on top of my dirt path. And I know that that would prevent the flowers from getting onto my path. But honestly, I'm in desperate need of my flowers duplicating. So I don't want to prevent them from doing that at this point. I want them to duplicate. And then as I get them, I will just dig them up off the path. And then I'll have more flowers to decorate with. I'm just going to have to make sure that when I go to save my dream address, that I do a complete run through of the island and clean everything up one time. But I really don't think I'm going to have too much to clean up. I did find the bottle on the beach for today, which is the bamboo stop block, which I think is my third time getting this DIY. I don't need it again. Please stop. Please. Poppy is crafting today. He is crafting the clacker cart, which I don't envision myself using, but it is a new DIY, so I can't complain too much. I've been putting off using any of my Nook Miles, but I do think I'm going to go ahead and grab the silo DIY. That is one DIY that I do plan on using at some point, so I'm just going to go ahead and get it. But I think I'm just going to continue to hoard my Nook Miles and then purchase a lot of things when we're getting closer to finishing the island. I'm going through, I'm selling off a bunch of stuff to Nooks because I need to clean out my pockets. We definitely need some money. And then I think I'm going to go ahead and start working on the neighborhood a little bit. I also need to come in here to my storage and I'm going to grab a couple things. I'll definitely need materials to craft with. I really hate that it doesn't just pull from your storage when you're crafting, but that's fine. I'll grab what I can. So I know that this is going to come as a shock, but I actually have nothing planned. I think I'm just going to continue with the theme of pumpkins in front of the villager yards. And again, I know what you're thinking. That's not spooky. But you know what? It's all I have to work with. I'm working with what the game has given me, and pumpkins is what they've given me. And I do want to point out, while you may not think this is spooky, these items all have spooky in the title. So who are you going to believe? Animal Crossing or yourself? I look at this neighborhood and I think, wow, look at all of these spooky decorations. I'm so frightened right now, right? Right. Okay. Now that we're on the same page, I have crafted a bunch of different pumpkin things, and I'm gonna start placing them in front of Camo Frog's house. There is this one little section where I want to put something down here. I think I'm gonna put the spooky lantern set and then just have a pumpkin on top of it. You'll notice that I do a lot of the same things over and over. Spooky lantern set, spooky lantern on top of it. Spooky lantern set, pumpkin dropped on top of it. A barrel with a pumpkin or a spooky lantern on top of it. But it's all about how you place them and how you're placing them in relationship to each other. I don't know. I personally like the feeling of a lot of things Like the abundance of pumpkins feels good to me, and to me, it's visually appealing. So that's just how I like to do it. I do have this spooky standing lamp to put here in front of Camo Frog's house, and I actually really like it. I don't know how I feel about the bats on some of these items. Sometimes I wish they just had the pumpkins, or I wish they had like the pumpkin stuff as one set, and then they had bat stuff as another set. And then, hear me out, I wish they had ghost stuff. And I also wish there was like spooky, scary stuff, but then also cutesy Halloween stuff. And I know Animal Crossing is basically all cutesy stuff, but I think they could have gone both directions with it. Ultimately, I just wish we had more items altogether. I haven't talked about this in a while, by the way, and I would like to just point out the perfection that is the barrel item in the game. It's the perfect height. The barrel and the spooky tower are two of my favorite items in the entire game because they are kind of this mid-size. They add the perfect amount of height to any build that you're doing, and they just layer so perfectly. And the barrel is even better because you can have the barrel with nothing on it, or you can put so many different things on top of the barrel. If you just want a tiny little item, you can do that. If you want a big item, you can do that too. So you can really play around with the height of things on top of it to fill a space as much or as little as you need to. I just feel like I need to hype up the barrel again because for a while I did, and I haven't done it in so long, and the barrel just deserves so much love. Camo Frog's yard is actually pretty tiny, and it's not taking too much to fill up this space. A couple pumpkin things and then flowers, bushes, and I'm basically done. I am noticing that I'm running out of flowers pretty quickly, and that's making me nervous because I use a lot of flowers in my build, so I'm definitely gonna have to get some more flower seeds at some point. And I'm also doing that thing that I do where I just kind of run around aimlessly and plant them in random spots. Because for some reason, I can't just focus on one specific area and finish it. You can see here that I'm putting another spooky lantern set with a pumpkin dropped on top of it, but this time it's turned the other direction, giving it a slightly different effect. You see? See what I did there? This is me trying to convince you that I'm good at decorating and that all of this looks different, but also cohesive at the same time. This is me spiraling in Animal Crossing as I try to decorate an island in 30 days, and I don't know if I'm gonna finish. This is me questioning everything I've done up until this point. Why did I decide to do this? But it's gonna be fine. We are going to do this. I chose Rene's house to decorate in front of next, and I'm actually going to give her a little farm plot because farm plots fill space. So we love farm plots. So I'm just doing a mixture, an assortment of pumpkins here. And then once they grow in, I'll probably have to move them around a little bit. I like when I do these little farm sections, either for there to be different colors or for there to be different combinations of how many vegetables. A pumpkin's a vegetable, right? How many vegetables are in each sprout? Does that make sense? So like, they can grow in 1s, 2s, and 3s, but I don't want all of them to be 3s or all of them to be 1s. It has to kind of be a combo. I think I just like to make everything complicated for myself. Okay, Becky has been pacing over here, contemplating her life choices for a while. So I am gonna go over here and talk to her. I actually was considering letting her stay, but I'm just gonna let her leave. Why not? It's fun to see who's gonna autofill. Okay, bye Becky. I added this little log stool and watering can, which I think is super cute. And then I do have this spooky scarecrow, which I think will work perfect here because we definitely need to add a couple of the Halloween items over here. And this one's perfect because it's a scarecrow, so it goes with the farm. I added some flowers and another barrel, and now I'm just doing the typical spooky tower. And then I think I'm gonna do one of the trick lamps over here, which is basically the spooky lantern, but in a slightly different size. But it kind of just looks like a normal pumpkin that's a little bit bigger than the pumpkins that they have in the game. Okay, I'm feeling pretty good about Rene's house, and now I think the last house that I have on this side of the island is my house, so we might as well decorate that one too. I think for my house, I'm gonna do a couple of the spooky trees. I've been kind of going back and forth on this if I want to have a ton of spooky trees in this section of the island, if I don't know, but I just feel like they'll work really well here. I do think I'm just gonna do another spooky lantern set pumpkin combo here, but this time with a white pumpkin instead of the orange pumpkins that I have been using. I know, revolutionary designing here. One thing I'm really struggling with my house though is the inability for me to put pathing underneath where the mailbox is. So I've just got this big grassy area and there's nothing I can really do about it because I'm not using any custom paths, and it looks weird if I just have like a strip of dirt path. So that is something I'm trying to figure out. Like, what am I gonna do in this spot? I added a couple flowers and then I went ahead and time traveled because I do have just some trees and stuff that need to grow, and I needed them to grow for me to be able to see kind of what I was working with. You know, I forgot that I have these two houses over here, which is technically on this section of island. This is Shep and Coco's house. So I'm gonna add a little bit of fencing. I don't know if I'm gonna decorate their whole yards today, but I just wanna get kind of a general idea of what these were gonna look like. I came back down here to Camo Frog's house and I decided to add a spooky tree and a bush in the back of his house, and I really like the way that looks. I can't even tell you how many times I've been running through this section today, and it's just one of those things where like sometimes I run through and I'm like, I really need to add something in that one spot, and if I don't do it right now, then I'm gonna forget about it. It's kind of like, you know, when you're cleaning your house and you clean up one area, but then you see something else that's dirty, so you kind of stop to work on that. So then you're not doing the thing that you originally planned on doing because you're working on the other thing that you saw while you were doing the first thing. That's me decorating an Animal Crossing island. That's also me trying to clean, but I do the same thing here. I decided to put a tiny stump here on the dirt path, which you can barely even see, but I love tiny stumps so much. If you're not using tiny stumps, I need you to start because they're just the best. And then I'm also adding one right here in front of this pumpkin farm because look how cute it is. It's just so small and adorable. Tiny stumps are my favorite. Okay, back to my house. I'm adding some more spooky trees over here, and then I'm going through and just adding some flowers and bushes around. I'm really just trying to fill all of this space the best I can. It's also difficult decorating around my house because there's only certain spots that I can put trees. It's so close to the water and then also so close to the beach that it's just limiting in that way. I'm trying to get the trees in front of my house situated, so I'm adding one kind of to the right, and then I'm gonna chop down this one that's right in front of my house just because I feel like it's blocking the view a little bit too much. But I like the idea of having the stump there just so it still feels full. Another thing that I've decided to do today is dig up all of these trees. I'm trying to have a space on my island to grow trees and stunt them, so I have trees of different sizes to work with when I'm decorating. But every time I try to do this, they're always in the way. Like, it always happens to be in a spot that I want to work on. So I'm gonna dig these up. I don't know if I'm gonna keep them in my pockets or move them somewhere else, but I'm also gonna move the money trees, and then I think I'm gonna build a cliff right here. So my plan with this cliff is it's not gonna be anything special. It's really just to fill this space. I thought about putting trees here, but I don't know. I think a cliff will just kind of work better to guide someone through, to make them continue to follow this path up through the neighborhood. Cliff is complete, and I'm just gonna add a tree on the side. I don't think I'm gonna decorate the cliff too much today, but at least I have it and I know that that's the plan. I'm feeling pretty good about how this looks as you're running through, with the cliff right there and the pumpkin patch and then straight up into Camo Frog's house. I think it's cute. It's a cute little neighborhood. We made a lot of progress on the neighborhood today. Hopefully it's starting to give off more of a Halloween spooky vibe. But if not, I promise to try to do a little bit of a spookier build tomorrow. And when that video is ready, it'll be on the screen for you to click on right now.